SirVern back here, and today I am going to review Gran Turismo 7 for the PS5. So I'm going to go through my normal 5 categories. We'll do graphics, performance, gameplay slash story, replayability, and then fun factor. Give them a score 1 to 10, average them up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So I haven't played a Gran Turismo game, oh man, since the PS1. I believe I played the first one on the PS1. And then maybe I played one on the PS2, but the only one I can really remember is the one on PS1 I played with my buddy Edmund when I was a little kid. You know, when you were walking to your buddy's house. So it's been a long time. But I saw I think it was a state of play that Sony put on about the Gran Turismo game, and then just all the footage, and they were talking about puddles accumulating. Anyway, they got me all hyped up for it, so I was excited about it. And I'm not really into car games or racing games in general. Some arcade racers I'm kind of into, more I guess of like a Forza kind of guy, to where it's just a little more like unrealistic. This is a simulator. Gran Turismo 7 is a like racing sim. Um, but man, I enjoyed it. I really did. But anyway, let's get right into it. So the graphics, 10 out of 10. If you have not seen footage of this game, looking at this in 4K, 60 frames a second, and then watching especially like the replays with like ray tracing and all that, it is insane how good this game looks. Um, I guess the best looking game on the PS5 is going to have to go to this. It does not have ray tracing while you are playing the game, right? It does have it in replays and then like on the showroom floor, and if you're what scrapes, they have ray tracing, of course. But even racing is just phenomenal. The game looks awesome. Um, 10 out of 10. I mean, there's nothing. There's you can't knock a point off of that. No way. So next up, performance. So I didn't have any issues. I didn't see frame drops. Nothing. It was perfect. I mean, the game worked perfect. It did have server issues. Like it was down for a whole day, but it didn't affect me because I was playing 2 games at the same time, Cyberpunk and this, and I just played Cyberpunk. So I'm sure that would have irritated me, and I probably would have knocked a point off. But anytime I went to play the game, it never crashed. It never skipped frames. It loads quick. Um, the draw distance is great. Everything works great in this game. So I gave it 10 out of 10. Um, Gameplay slash story. So gameplay, rock solid, man. Once you get the hang of it, now it does take some getting used to because it is a very realistic game. Um, but man, the gameplay is just enhanced by the DualSense controller. When you brake, you feel the ABS braking and the triggers. It is amazing playing this game with that controller. Um, Awesome, 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 awesome. You go off road, you feel it in your hands. If you're doing a rally race, you feel it in your hands. Um, so the gameplay portion of this category, I'd give it 10 out of 10. Really, I love it. It was like addicting. Um, it's you get some long races that can kind of be exhausting, but it's so rewarding when you finish. But I combine gameplay and story. And story, I'm going to knock it off 1 point. The story, it's not really a story, but for a car game, a simulator car game, you do have a lot of characters that talk to you throughout the game. You go to the cafe and interact with that guy, which is pretty neat. He tells you about the history of the cars once you beat it. Man, it was interesting. It was interesting, but I did knock it off a point because there's no like voice acting or anything like that. It doesn't have a real story, but for a car game, it did what it needed to do, right, to get you through. So I gave that category overall gameplay slash story a 9. So then we get to the category where I kind of dog the game a little bit, replayability. So game has like 400 cars in it, right? Game had a lot of controversy about them trying to micromanage and nitpick you, and just they want your money. It's very evil practice they do. So I beat the game, and I think I had 75 cars unlocked out of 400. I played the game most of the game prior to the patch where it kind of fixed some of the stuff. Um, but they weren't given a whole lot of money for your races. And what they did is they, after reviewers reviewed the game, they started to, or they implemented their an update, and it made the money earned from races go down, and then of course microtransactions. So really, they incentivize you to spend real money in the game to buy these cars. So they were doing the math: $40 for a single car. Some of them, multi-million-dollar cars, and what's really just this evil corporate strategy. What they do is they have this section in the game where they have like legendary cars, right? And you shop for them, and there will be cars in there for multi-millions of dollars, and it'll say limited quantity. Some are sold out, so you're like, oh, you're like panicking. I need this car, right? In order to get that car, you'd have to race for like 2 days straight, or you could go spend some money in the shop. That is so messed up, and that right there just I loved the game, right? I think the gameplay is awesome. The graphics are insane, performance. But when you get to that stuff, when you're having to spend real world money, after I've spent $70 on this game, $70, and you expect me to spend more money to buy these digital cars? F that. So no thanks. I knocked this down to a 2. I will not replay this game. I beat it. I really enjoyed it. I did. It's beautiful. Just looking at the cars is so neat. But I'm not paying you an additional dime to unlock a fake vehicle within a game. So if there was no microtransactions, this would be much higher. It would make me want to like collect all the cars. But knowing that other people get the cars with just spending extra money infuriates me. Heck no, son. So replayability 2. I uninstalled this game immediately. The only reason I gave it a 2 was because I did have like 1.5 million after winning. What, that'll buy you half of one good car? I mean, it's insane. But I could have bought, 2 crappy cars. Whatever. So 2 for replayability. Fun factor, after I'm all riled up now. Fun factor, I give an 8. I had a lot of fun while playing the game. The only reason I knocked it down a bit, right, is because, like I said, it's a lot of money to do stuff with cars. Like, there's cars I couldn't afford, which is, I put probably, 20 to 30 hours into this game, and I still couldn't afford, obviously, most of the cars. The gameplay was pretty fun, right? I had fun completing the story, collecting the cars, doing the challenges. But the microtransactions, I mean, it even knocked points off my fun factor, right? When I first started playing this game, before I realized there was microtransactions inbound, I was like, man, this is going to be one of my favorite racing games of all time. I'll just keep this installed, play it quite a bit, try to collect all the cars. As soon as they did that update, I kind of just lost interest in the game. I still was going to beat it because I put a lot of time into it, but no, man, they really, really messed with that game. And there was an outrage online. People review bombed it, and then Sony did come out and they updated it, trying to fix it. They made races provide more money, and then microtransactions, I guess, less prevalent. Of course, I didn't spend a dime, and I would never spend a dime on that. I don't support crazy business practices like that. But anyway, I'll go through them again. Graphics, I gave a 10. Performance, 10. Gameplay / story, 9. Replayability, 2. I should have given it a 1. Fun factor, 8. If you average those together, I give Gran Turismo 7 for the PS5 a 7 out of 8. That's a decent score, right? But it's not a game I'll play again, and that's sad. It's a beautiful game. I'm not super into racing games to begin with, but like I said, I saw this game presented, and I was like, man, that looks insane. You want something to show off what a PS5 can do, get Gran Turismo 7, but don't spend a dime. Get it used, and don't spend a dime on microtransactions. So some notes I wrote about it. I wrote, it's fun. It's pretty long, for a racing game. I didn't expect like a 20-hour campaign. That's pretty cool. Microtransactions ruin this game. Yeah, that's what I wrote. That's true. Games without microtransactions automatically just get points, because doing this kind of stuff, and especially putting them in after the fact, it's just people want those cars, right? Because it's a car game. That's what you bought, and they're going to try to charge you like $40 for a single car. Go to hell. Anyway, Gran Turismo 7 was a decent game, but don't spend a dime on those stupid microtransactions. SirVern out.